Hello everyone, welcome to Blue Heron Hill. I'm out in the garden again, but today we're planting. No harvesting today, we're planting. And you say, what can you plant in October? Although it is a very nice day, sunny, pushing to 70 degrees, I probably don't need this, but I am planting garlic. Now is the time to plant garlic. In any zone, you can plant it. When the temperatures are cooling off into the 50s and the 40s, you can plant just about at any time. You can even plant it in the springtime, although your harvest will be then pushed back a little later. I haven't ever done that. I've always planted my garlic in the fall, about now, usually mid-October, and I'm just a little bit early, but I have an open schedule right now, and I thought on this gorgeous day I'd get out here, prep my bed, and get ready to plant some garlic. Let me show you. This is my garlic bed for this year. I do rotate it every year. If you saw my last video, my poor sweet potato video where I didn't get a single sweet potato, that was planted right next to where I put my garlic last year. This is a bed that I planted, I think a couple years ago anyway. I had my garlic in this bed. That's a 4 by 8 foot bed. I have 4 beds in this area that I call my annex area. It's just an extension of my main garden, and they are all 4 by 8 foot. Don't look too closely at this one back here. This one I am letting go for raspberries right here. There's an adjacent one over here that has been overtaken by raspberries. I've gotten a few raspberries already. I'm hoping the weather is going to hold off and I can get a decent harvest of these raspberries. Usually we get a frost, it kills the majority of them, and so there's really not much hope in a second crop. Usually I get my basic one in June. I do have another bed right here. As you can see, I put brassicas. These are cabbages. These beds do not get a ton of sun at this time of the year. We've got tree lines up here that are very tall, every year growing taller and shading this out. But this does just fine for garlic on about in, maybe May. It starts getting full sun for at least 6 to 7 hours in each day, and then it progressively gets more. And since you harvest your garlic in about July, I have no problem making sure that it gets enough sun to produce a decent crop. You can see some of these heads of garlics are just gorgeous. This is a hardneck variety. I'll link my video on my garlic harvest up here. I did grow some soft neck garlic, and I just braided that up. I don't think I'm going to be growing that. I was not too pleased with the size of the cloves. The taste of the cloves was not too much to my liking. It could be where it was planted. I mean, who knows? But I got some huge cloves of garlic. And this is garlic that I've been growing here in my garden for over 8 years. I don't know the variety anymore. I think I've mentioned that in the past. But it is well acclimated to my garden, so I continue with it. And I like the flavor. I like the storage. It does well, even though it's a hard neck variety, which doesn't store as well as the soft neck variety. But to me, it's a keeper, and I don't know how many cloves in here. I counted up. It could be, I know it's at least 50, and probably a little bit more, and I may need more than 50. But we'll see what I can get into this bed. let me talk to you about what I did in preparation here. Okay, you see this is my second row. I have another row over here. What I did first of all, since this bed, let's see, this bed had some brassicas in it in the springtime. Now, brassicas are a plant that uses a lot of nitrogen because it is a leafy vegetable. And so it needs nitrogen to do a lot of growth. Garlic, on the other hand, this is a bulb that grows underground and more like a root vegetable, that its requirement is a little bit different. It does need nitrogen to start off because it's going to push up those leaves. But on about June, I think it is, it will start forming its bulb, and so its nutrient requirements change from nitrogen to phosphorus. So what I've done here is I've dug a ditch. Let's see, I dug a ditch right through here, and I loaded it up with compost, and I still have compost, so that's always a good thing. And then I covered it back in. So when I plant my garlic cloves and push them down deep, that's where they're going to get the nutrition from the compost. So I'm ready to start at least these 2 rows. I've put compost in 2 rows now, and I am going to start with these 2 rows at least. I think I may be able to get in a 4-foot bed. I will perhaps get 6 longitudinal rows here, and we'll see how many I can get down in each row. I will usually space my garlic out about 4 to 6 inches apart. Some people think that's too close together. I've had not a problem with it. As long as your soil is fertile enough, you keep it weeded, and it should do just fine. It can gather everything it needs from its surrounding area. So compost in here, and then that huge clove will turn into a nice whopping head of garlic. So let's plant a few. I'll show you what I do. It's not rocket science to plant garlic. So you just need to plant each clove about 4 or 5 inches deep in the ground, at least even in my climate where temperatures can get to -5 below, and it still will be fine. I use this tool, not necessary, but this is a dibbler or a dabbler or something. I call it my dibble dabble. And I know where my 4-inch mark is here, and I will just press it down into the soil like this. Maybe I'll make a couple holes. And then you're going to take your clove of garlic, and the stubby end right there is the root end. That was the root end when you pulled your garlic plant up in the summertime. And this is the end that will shoot up the luscious green foliage. So that goes down, 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 down. And then simple, just cover it up. And I just go along and push them in, root side down, pointy side up. Now here's a clove of garlic where the paper skins have come off. Not to worry about that, but otherwise just leave those paper skins right on. They'll protect the clove a little bit. It's really not necessary to take them off. But this one fell off, and I'm pretty sure that that will do just fine. I have a few rows to do, so I'm going to do that and then get back to you, and we'll see how far this stretches. I have more garlic inside that I can always fill in some of these other rows. So stay with me and I'll be right back. Okay, everything is planted. I have about 6 rows of about 14 cloves in each row. I did have to go in the house and I picked up 5 more heads of garlic. Only used 3 of them, and I think that's plenty. In the past, I have grown upwards of 120 heads of garlic. Now, I've given many away to family and friends, that's for sure. This year, I still have plenty to give away from my harvest in July. And I think what I planted here will be plenty again. You can just never have enough garlic. I'm just finishing up my dried garlic that I used, and now I will start using the fresh stuff. It's okay to use it. Mine has been cured right now. It spent weeks curing, and now it's in my long-term storage, and it is ready to go. You can use fresh garlic. If you haven't bought your garlic to plant in your garden yet, there's still sources available. Sometimes farmers markets have heads of garlic that will be just perfect for planting in your fall garden here. If you don't have any resource available to you, in a pinch you can use garlic from the store. I don't always recommend it. I have used garlic from the store. It has come up and it has done okay. You never know where it is being grown. If it is not being grown locally in your climate, it may not adapt well to your garden. But if you have nothing else available, you could always give it a try. If you have very limited garden space, put it in a raised bed. Put it in a flower pots where your flowers have died off for the fall, and it should do fine. I will be keeping my eye on this, and I hope in about 2 to 3 weeks I'll see some little green sprouts of the leaves starting to push out of the soil. That always happens. And then at about that time, or if we are going to be getting a hard freeze or even a frost, I'll come and I'm going to mulch this bed over either with chopped up leaves or even straw. I still do have a couple bales of straw. Then again, in the spring, I do like to mulch my garlic pretty heavily because it doesn't like weed pressure. And it's very difficult to weed between heads of developing garlic. So I think that's just about all. I have some other videos on planting garlic, maybe a little bit more in depth, but I think I've covered everything. You know, the spacing about 4 to 6 inches between rows. Well, between rows I usually do 6 inches. Between cloves of garlic I do anywhere 4, 5, or 6. Just depends on how my rhythm gets going. So I hope you get some garlic planted. Go out and stick some in the ground. Just remember where you put it. Because in the springtime, when you start digging to put in annuals or more perennials or whatever you are going to be digging in your flower beds or wherever, don't forget you've got garlic planted there. So get some garlic planted. I hope you've garnered some information from this video. It really doesn't take a lot to plant garlic and get a harvest. A very low maintenance crop to put in your garden. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up and pass this along to anyone that may be interested in this content. So until the next time that we can go digging in the dirt, happy gardening. Bye.